Should you hang up on a customer? That's the question I'm going to answer on this recording. The answer is yes, if they deserve it. Okay, no. Yes, if you're someone like me, you should definitely hang up on your customers. Now, I'm a bit of a hothead. I burn hot. As I get older, it becomes less of an issue, but especially when I was young. When I was young, I was out of control with my emotions, and to the place where if I was angry, I would go up against guys that were 3 times bigger, 3 times stronger, and 3 times more dangerous than I was. That's how stupid I was. Just my anger makes me stupid. I think anger makes everybody stupid to a degree. But don't get angry. Don't get stupid. Just hang up. Look, this is one of the reasons why I just can't work with unreasonable people, because you can't, it's hard to reason with somebody that's crazy, and then I start getting angry and I hang up. Now look, I will say that when you use our method the right way and your positioning is correct and somebody else is scheduling your sales calls and all that kind of stuff, when everything is done properly, you're going to have to hang up on very, 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 very few, if any, people. Because by the time you get to these people, they're eager to talk with you. They're very happy. They're very excited. The positioning is right. They're grateful to be with you. And so, therefore, why would you hang up on somebody like that? But every once in a while, you're going to get somebody who's totally unreasonable. I got one the other day. Now, this is the funny part of the story here. On very slow sales days, when I'm not getting enough appointments, and those days are rare, but on those days, I will do some of the preliminary initial sales. I'll make some of those sales. Right now, with our current offer, it's a $195 sale. Usually, my sales assistant, Marilyn, makes those sales for me. But on slow days, when I need the extra appointments and things are going slow, she'll give those calls to me, which I'm happy to make those sales on slow days. And so I had a guy on the phone a couple weeks ago, and I said, well, I'm calling you up to get you started with the basic membership, which is $195. And he goes, well, I've got a few questions first. I'm not ready to go yet. I've got a few questions first. I go, okay, shoot. So he asked me a couple questions. I answer them. And then I go, okay, well, go ahead with your credit card now and get you started. Oh, no, I'm not ready to go yet. Oh, no, I'm not ready. I've got a couple more questions. So I played along for a little bit, and then I just saw that it was going nowhere. He was the kind of person that, to me, he was being very unreasonable, and I hung up on him. Didn't get mad at him. Moved on to my next sales call. Didn't think twice about it, except for the fact that I have to hang up on so few people. That's all I really just... That's the only part that really registered in my mind at the time. I moved forward. I hardly hang up on anybody these days. Now, before I started having Marilyn set appointments for me, I used to hang up on, some days I'd hang up on one person every day. On an extreme day, when I'd have a bad day, I'd hang up on a couple. Not necessarily proud of it, but the positioning was wrong. Now that now that Marilyn is setting up those appointments for me, and I'm doing it the way that I teach my clients how to do it, the positioning is everything. Again, they're grateful when you do it the way we teach it. People are eager and excited to talk with you. If I had $1,000 right now for every time somebody in the last year since I've been working with Marilyn in this capacity, and she's been setting appointments, if I had $1,000 for every time somebody said, now, do you mind if I asked you just one more question? Or that's, similar kinds of things, but they're all saying the same thing. Can I please ask you one more question? Or I know how busy you are, but I just have one more question. Is that okay? Oh, see, it's when you hear questions like that, you know you're doing your job correctly. That's when the positioning is exactly where it needs to be. That's where you've gone from being a salesperson to being a trusted advisor, to being an expert, to being somebody who is worthy of their, you command respect. You command respect. They respect you now. The positioning is all right. Anyway, so I found out from my joint venture partner this morning that he goes, I got a call yesterday from somebody who told me that you had hung up on him. And I knew it was this guy, because I don't hang up on anybody these days hardly, It had to be this guy. And I go, well, let me guess. I go, he didn't buy from you, did he? And he goes, no, he didn't. So this guy was just, he was just one of those people that's, you have them. And there's a great quote, and if you haven't heard it before, I'm glad to be able to be the person to tell you this quote is, some will, some won't, so what, who's next? That needs to be your whole attitude. You need to, some will, some won't, so what, who's next? Just move forward. You're not going to get them all. Let them go. When I start to get angry, that's when I need to hang up on people. Now, should you hang up on people? If you're like my business partner, Chris Lakey, I can't imagine Chris Lakey, because of his temperament, he's the most imperturbable person on the planet. I cannot imagine him ever hanging up on anyone. Chris doesn't get upset. He just does not get upset. But with me, the minute I start feeling that I'm getting a little bit perturbed, I want to hang up on them as fast as I can. From the minute I start getting upset, because it doesn't do them any good, it doesn't do me any good. I will say this, whether you should or should not hang up on a prospect or a customer, I will say you should never take it personally and get upset. I mean, they teach that in Sales 101. When somebody treats you poorly or whatever, in this case, when you're learning our methods, you take full responsibility for that. If you're getting treated poorly, whose fault is it? It's your fault. But never take abuse from people. Never let anybody yell at you. I would say that what I used to do before Marilyn was taking appointments for me, when a customer would start treating me poorly, I'd hang up on them, and then many times they'd call me back. And then I would just keep playing that game with them. Every time they started raising their voice with me, I just hung up on them. And then we do that about 3 or 4 times, and that's it. Now I've got their attention. They know that if they continue to behave that way, I'm just going to hang up on them. So you treat people how you want to be treated, but I will say if you're positioning it correctly and you're using our methods the right way, you're going to have to hang up on very, very, very few people, if any. And I hope something I've said here has made a difference. Thank you. If you're one of my clients, you're learning all of this about positioning and how to get that established the right way and structured selling and all of that. If you're not one of my clients and something I've said has helped you and you want to know more about who I am, click on the link below. Thank you, and bye for now.